Thanks for joining the webinar on actionable steps to automate HR service delivery. In the next 30 minutes, we are going to cover the common HR service delivery use cases. What are the pitfalls that comes in when it comes to automation? The impact of Gen AI for service management, and a quick overview and demo of our OnLink application. But before that, a quick primer on who is Onward. Onward provides apps for Atlassian that reimagine worker engagement. We are currently working on 3 applications. One, on rewards. It's a peer recognition rewards management application. The application is available in the marketplace for customers to deploy and use it for their environment. Onramp, employee onboarding and offboarding solution. This is currently under development and we hope to have the MVP release by next month. OnLink, this is a plugin connector for common HR systems like Workday, BambooHR and Greenhouse. This application is also available in the Atlassian marketplace. Let me give an overview of the HR service management with the most common use case, which is employee onboarding. Even though it has the common constructs of the candidate receiving an offer, the talent acquisition specialist following up to get the onboarding details of the candidate, and then having the people ops person getting the pre-hire, the pre-boarding and the day one activities completed. However, given the size, complexity and the culture of the organization, this is unique to every enterprise. For example, where does the ticket management checklist happen? What's the single sign-on used within the organization? IP and legal contracts, scheduling for background screening, ordering the swag, the HCM or HRIS application. The good news is, given the improvement and advancement in the APIs, integrations to several applications can be done through the common protocols such as REST API. This is the fundamental way an onboarding step gets started by having a task created. Let me walk you through some of the common systems. The pre-hire, which is the recruiting. In this case, let me use Greenhouse as an example, a common application used for applicant tracking and recruitment. In the middle is the core function of service management. The common application we use is Jira Service Management, which is used for pre-boarding and getting the candidate ready for day one. And finally, HR application systems. Again, for example, Workday for large enterprises, BambooHR for small and medium enterprises. Now, I want to break it down into 3 distinct phases of employee onboarding: pre-hire, pre-boarding, and day one. Let's do a double click on it, right? We have recruitment handoff for a candidate accepted the offer, and we know the source of truth is the HR HCM application. In the middle is the system of engagement, which is any information required for, let's say, for example, IT survey or equipment preference, like reaching out to the candidate and having them fill out a form on their laptop preference, any other infrastructure they need for their day-to-day work productivity. And then depending on the request, having an approval for to get through the hiring manager or finance for stock grants, etc. That's the middle piece of it. So we have the functionalities to take care of, from forms to tasks and approvals. That's the role of Jira Service Management. Now let's put it all together in a simple workflow. When a candidate gets accepted an offer, we want that candidate information to come into the HR service management so that we can avoid keying and manual entry, or having a batch based integration to support it. Imagine where as soon as a candidate accepts the offer, we have that information available in the HR service management, and a status update goes back to the recruitment application. Similarly, all the candidate information are mapped to send it to HR application, let's say for example Workday, where a worker profile or a pre-hire profile gets created in Workday, and HR and finance team can complete the rest of the core HR finance tasks within their natural workspace. Similarly, back from the HCM system in terms of location, department, reporting manager, codes like labor category codes, IDs like employee IDs, back from the HCM system that we can integrate in the Jira Service Management. And in Jira Service Management, we can now associate assets and other infrastructure requirements that the candidate has it. Sounds easy, right? In terms of putting to all together in a blueprint, how we can make it to work in a real environment. This is where OnLink comes into the picture, where OnLink becomes the broker, the connector that connects the HR service management task to HCM applications to enable bidirectional integrations. So using OnLink, we can connect native connections to Workday, BambooHR, and Greenhouse. Now I will turn it over to Girish to walk through the demo and the use cases that we support.
Here I'm going to show a quick demo of Onramp. I'll walk you through how the onboarding process works. And as part of the onboarding, typically there are multiple personas involved. Here in this particular browser window with a golden background, this represents the HR business partner. And the HR business partner will have access to our application. She can define flows as needed and also has access to the Jira queues so that she can work on the relevant tasks. In a separate window here, I have with background red. This is more of an IT view so that the IT administrator can review the list of tasks in their queue and complete tasks as needed. This is the second persona. And the third one is that of the new hire. Imagine the new hire, how the new hire is able to interact with the company, provide information even before they have access to their corporate email or any other systems. So this blue persona represents the new hire. So we have three personas. We'll start off with the HR business partner setting up the onboarding workflow in our application, defining the tasks, etc. The IT manager or IT administrator performing their tasks, and the new hire also providing additional information based on whatever the onboarding requirements are. So let's dive in. The app itself can be accessed from the app menu. It is going to be available in the Atlassian Marketplace in a couple of weeks here. The main page of the app shows the list of flows. A flow is nothing but a sequence of tasks, a sequence of steps that forms that onboarding or offboarding business process. This can be defined and configured by the HR business partner. For example, if I take a look at one of these flows, it has the name. We can define multiple flows. For instance, customers may have a flow for a particular country or maybe a particular team. So accordingly, they can define their flows. Each flow has a starting point. This is what we call a trigger, and this defines what triggers the particular onboarding or offboarding process. Out of the box, we have a few possibilities. One is just a Jira issue. any issue that is created either through JSM portal or directly in a project can be a trigger. We have integrations to Workday and Greenhouse. So with Workday, either a new hire or a termination event can trigger the onboarding flow. Greenhouse, again, a candidate accepting an offer in Greenhouse will trigger it. Finally, the issue file attachment is a file that can be attached to any Jira issue, and that can trigger a bulk onboarding process. Imagine scenarios where customers hire multiple people at once, perhaps it's seasonal hiring, summer interns, etc. Those are the use cases that we support using issue file. Once the trigger is configured, users can come in and select tasks from the select tasks list. This is a list of tasks that is available in the task library, and customers have flexibility to define their own tasks, edit the existing tasks, etc. Once the tasks are selected, they can go in and configure each one of them. For example, they can set the project in which the task should reside, the issue type, if it is a blocker, if it should be assigned to somebody. All of these are fully configurable. And the fact that they can select an existing project and issue type means that any existing Jira automation that a customer might have developed can be leveraged and it can be supported as part of the Onramp flow. Once these are set up, user can save and then the flow is ready to be executed. Quickly going through some of the other tasks. I've talked about the task library already. These are the list of out-of-box tasks that users can select. And users can also add their own tasks as well. Connections are there in order for users to configure the endpoint APIs for the systems that we support. We have the dashboard view, which will show quickly the current status of employee onboarding. Users can click on it and then get a detailed view of what the current status is of all the tasks that form a particular employee's onboarding process. Now that these tasks have been created, a flow has been defined, let's see how this works in action. These jobs I'm going to execute by clicking on Run Now, and then I'll go here to the queue where you should see a new task getting created for, we are still in the HR business partners persona. So let me do that. Click on Run Now, initiated execution of flows, which means the system is going to each of the endpoints, Workday and Greenhouse, and pulling any new hires. So here, if I search on it, this new hire just appeared here. Let me click on that. I'm just going to change the request type here so that the screen gets updated and it's easier to see what got pulled from Workday. So this is a task that was created after our application pulled new hires from Workday. And in this case, it's Jane who was recently hired. And you can see Jane's worker ID, first name, last name, and start date. These are all pulled from Workday automatically. As an HR business partner, I will enter Jane's email address. This is her personal email address because I know she doesn't have the corporate account yet. And this will be used to communicate with Jane, and the app supports that. I'll show you as part of the next step. Once all the information is there, looks good, we know Jane is starting, it's confirmed, the HR business partner can move this to in progress. Once the task moves to in progress, there is a post function that gets triggered, and this creates all the individual tasks that were defined as part of the flow. So if I refresh here, you will see all the tasks that were part of the flow definition get created. So if I go to the flow, the 6 tasks that were defined have all been created here. In addition, because we provided a personal email address, you will see that Jane would have received an email as well. So as you may remember, blue represents the new hire. So let me go and refresh this. And you'll see an email from Acme Company providing the next steps and instructions on what should be done here. Before I fill the form as the new hire, let me also go to the IT view. So this view with the red color is that of the IT administrator. And if I click on search again, I see new tasks added to my queue. These are that of Jane. Let's see if it is who it is for. Let's say order laptop. And you'll see that the same information that were on the parent tasks have been carried over. Again, Jane, we have some information. But a couple of pieces of information are missing for the IT admin, namely the laptop preference and shipping address. So what I'm going to do here is, this is the information that is coming from the new hire. So once the new hire submits their form, this information should get updated. So let me go and follow the instructions here. I'll click on the link. I do need to enter this issue key as the instruction says. And when I click on it, I am presented with a form. I'll select my laptop preference. That's a duplicate field, but for now I'll select that. Put in my address, and when I click on send, I've communicated with the organization through this form, and additional back and forth can continue on this particular form as part of the comments. Now if I come back here, you will see that the laptop preference and shipping address, which were empty earlier, have now been populated. This will allow the IT admin to continue their work and ship the Mac laptop to Jane. If I go back to the HR business partners view now, these tasks are all set up. The individual tasks are being worked on. Any specific tasks, for example, in this case, this is a finance task, can be set up in such a way that it integrates back to Workday, which means that the stock grant itself is pushed to Workday. So in our application, we support both pulling as part of the initial pull of new hires or terminations, but also pushing automatically so that tasks can be completed automatically is also supported. So finally, if I go back to the dashboard view, I should be able to see Jane's onboarding status. Let me click on active. I can see that a new flow is created. It's currently work in progress status. If I click on it, I'll see the detailed task list as well. And as tasks get completed, it will get reflected in this dashboard.
Walking through the demo, let me summarize it. Integration patterns for such use cases. One, custom code. Given the applications, for example, Atlassian provides robust support framework to make custom codes. So using custom code, we can make REST API calls, and that functionality is always available. Obviously, the downside of it is requirement of a developer support and making sure that the code follows the compliance and the guidelines to operate it at the expected level. Second, the use of middleware. proven middleware tools such as MuleSoft, upcoming tools like Workato provide connectors. These are pre-built connectors that allows drag and drop wizard-driven integrations. The consideration here is to have an integration SME to build those integration services. The next option is always marketplace plugins, Atlassian marketplace plugins. There are marketplace vendors provide REST API, connectors to support to make those API calls. This is where OnLink differentiates, where we can avoid that low level integration connections and have HR analysts and business partner to configure the HR system to their requirements. Obviously, the extension of it is we strongly believe Gen AI has a role to play here, where conversational AIs can help in completing the forms the require intakes available. We will have to see how that integration that happens into these application over a period of time, but that's definitely an area to watch out for. Now, to quickly summarize it, OnLink provides that native HR system integrations for Jira. Currently, our application supports integrations to Workday, BambooHR, and Greenhouse. Hope this webinar is useful to you. Just to close out, here are the links that we will provide added in the notes section, where you can find detailed demos of our applications working with Workday, BambooHR, and Greenhouse. We have also provided the link to our Atlassian marketplace where you can give it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us out on the email provided. And for our early design partner customers, we are offering a complimentary ROI study on your current HR service management process and how we can improve that. If you are interested in the ROI study, feel free to reach out. We'd be glad to help support it. Thank you, everyone.